All right, you hooligans. You know how we do this whole thing. Roll call.
Ryan. Kyle.
Mikey.
Steven. Combo breaker. Welcome back, everybody, to the real episode 25 of our Misty Fortune Absent Hearts campaign as we come to the close of the Tempter and begin heading into our next arc in our dark tale, the Innocents. When we last left our favorites, misplaced heroes from the Forgotten Realms, audience, apologies about last week. My internet did not work well with me on that one. It is not my fault, but I will take the blame for that one. It's not the player's fault on that one. So thank you for being back here this week, and sorry that we have made you wait so much between episode 24 and 25. But in episode 24, the climactic conclusion of our fight against the re-arisen Lady Beatatov. The party had muscled their way through the hedge maze, avoiding terrors and traps and odd alien vegetation as they successfully navigated their way to the Beatatov family crypt, using the sigil of the scion of the seventh son of House Beatatov. Boy, that's a lot of S's. They successfully unlocked the family crypt, walked down into the seemingly long-sealed mausoleum of the Beatatov family, and had a brutal battle against the now risen banshee form of Lady Marlena Beatatov, screeching out against the party, vowing to protect her treasure from Ivan or whoever he had sent to come and retrieve it. Her family and her would never be stolen from again. The fight was brutal, with creeping coins delivering massive damage on an unsuspecting Jove and Virgil, who had been entranced and bewitched by this glittering pieces of gold that seemed real and unreal all at the same time. A vicious Strahd's animated armor that had both equal parts martial prowess and magical power laid low Alder, nearly bringing the wizard warlock to death's door once more. But with some fantastic rolls, some absolutely impressive damage done by Jove with them crit vision builds, yeah, absolute good, the party succeeded in putting to rest, at least for the time being, Lady Beatatov. Whoa! Relax there, YouTube. Take that down a notch. Thank you. We did get a little bit of a session in, so I'm not going to have us backtrack and redo all of that one. So audience, the small, about 30-40 minutes that you missed, the party discovered the vast wealth of the Beatatovs, finding gold ravens valued at well over 5,000 gold raven pieces, a beautiful sapphire hairnet that had become corporeal as Lady Beatatov fell, and a set of glamored studded armor that could change its appearance. However, its base form can only be immodestly cut, and it always draws the attention of whoever is wearing it, regardless of which form they take, which we will get to you all there on what that looks like when we finally jump all the way in. As the party debated back and forth what to do with the gold, Alder and Jove began to stuff their pockets and their packs with as much gold as possible, but with a literal word of caution from Alder's patron, the Evening Glory. Alder inferred and then confirmed with his patron that the gold ravens were indeed cursed, that removing them from this site may incur unintended consequences. So before the curse could latch on to our adventuring party, and much to the pain of Joe Featherfoot, seeing the most amount of wealth he's ever seen in person. Alder and Virgil, not far behind on that thought, returned the gold back to the crypt, choosing to leave it in its semi-cursed state rather than to spread that gold to the people of Orsnu and endanger them with this unknown curse. Virgil, of course, choosing not to touch any of the gold that had made him try to do a Scrooge McDuckian gold shower bath earlier in the fights, stood sentinel at the door, as oft he does. The party... Thank you. +1 for the DM. The party decided to take the hairnets, the studded armor, but to leave the actual gold behind. Using Alder's keen mind, trace their way back out through the hedge maze, Alder committing the path to memory should they need to return to this at a future date. We return back to our party, having successfully left the hedge maze, the moon now unobscured from the dark clouds. Pale bits of moonlight shine down over the Vitatov Manor. It is still in its haunted, dilapidated state. Bits of broken window, crumbling awnings, the terrace overgrown in some places with odd, thorny branches, smears of blood both old and new splatter against the windows from the various guests and members of the house, falling into this undead rage at the turn of the evening. The trigger still unbeknownst, but as the party returns, the house appears silent, quiet as the grave. No longer the sounds of murder or carnage ring through the halls. Instead, an old, still silence emanates from the Vitatov Manor. Returning back to our party, deciding where they would like to rest for the evening as the hours grow long, and I believe at the end of our last session, decided not to light the hedge maze on fire, instead memorizing the path to get to the family crypt as needed, and taking the sigil of the 7th scion of House Vitatov with them, so that only they know the path and only they hold the key to retrieving the Vitatov's cursed family fortune. We return back now to our players, and Alder, I think I've spoken enough. As we return back, what does your now glamored, studded armor with your magical word that you are allowed to choose at your choosing, what does that look like? This armor that must pull all the attention in the room.
Yes. So, it is almost like an elaborate multiple piece kind of robe. So, like, the base robe of it is like this deep, I think almost kind of like a maroon type color, right? So very typical, hugs very close to the body and like to the chest, going along it is the top part of it, and lining it on along both like the edges of the robe as well as like around the shoulder and the hems is definitely um, it's a gold stitching, but it's really more of like an amber, and it's creating almost like kind of like cuffs around it. So like there's almost like shoulder cuffs going around kind of the arms, like the upper arm getting to the shoulder, of kind of like flame sigils kind of going around, kind of creating that again, this kind of almost like an amber light kind of material, like a bronze that's shining essentially. And on top of that too, he has just very, very fine, exquisite, like brown studded leather on the both on the chest as well as the arms, and leather boots as well. It's like kind of a nice kind of darker brown, I would say. Has a bit of like a shoulder pad going on one, on like his left, I would say, and then on his right is clean with that, but he then has again almost like an overcloak, like a deep green overcloak that again has that matching uh, amber trim with it, and it kind of hangs over. It's not the exact same, but I was almost thinking like sort of like Oron Final Fantasy X, like kind of the way it wraps around the neck and then hangs over the arm.
I see.
It's not the same outfit, but it kind of gives a bit of the same look to it as well.
And what is your word of command?
Word of command? I forgot about that one. Ooh. Let's say we'll say eternal.
Eternal. With the command word of eternal.
You don't want to make it nuanced?
No, because then I will turn my armor on or off whenever we say our safe word.
And I'll say, as you do this, there is that bit of kind of amber glow as this armor forms and twists and presents itself to your party as you leave the command word instilled deep within your mind's eye. And as you do with that bit of amber light, you guys remember that trend on TikTok, speaking of somebody who doesn't have it, where it would do the streets by Doja Cat, and then it would do like a shadowed silhouette of people, and it was just really an excuse to get naked. Yeah, so as you do that, this does have the property that with that little bit of amber light, you get a perfect silhouette of Alder's naked form. And as the light kind of goes past through it, that is going to be a permanent fixture. Is that if you are backlit, it's not going to leave anything to the imagination. It's almost like there are small slits in there. Looks great, though. High quality. Phenomenal. Good on you. Whilst you are wearing that alder, I will keep that in mind for when you interact with nobles or the common people. And you're now...
Or anybody.
Really?
Really, anyone will see the silk here and be like, "Oh, okay."
There is literally in there. Hey, audience, come with me real quick. Let's take a just a little journey over to our Cold War stuff. Literally, it says it right there. Your appearance draws the eyes of those around you, and it's like it's what it do.
I can't believe Alder, as a wizard, has now become the magical girl of our... Like, I've got a power word transformation and everything. Like, damn.
You've got, like, you could totally do, like, an anime waifu drawing of the Evening Glory, like, draped over your shoulder, like, total tsundere style of just, like,
Yeah,
you can't talk to Alder, only I can talk to Alder.
I love it. I love it.
Wow. For such a dark timeline, we've had fun with this. But yes, with new threads acquired, word of command locked into your mind's eye, I will write that down. Eternal.
Eternal, yes. And does that have to be activated each day, by the way? Like, each day that I wake up, I need to activate the armor again, or does it just persist, or how does it work?
I would say that when you take it off, it goes back to its inert form. So when you take off your armor for the end of the day so that you can rest, it will go into its unform. So at the start of the day, you will need to speak your command word and bring that. And if you want to make changes to it, of course, the armor is only held back by your own imagination. So if that's the form you'd like to keep, just speak your word. It'll return. But if you're like, let's change the color format. Feel free.
I like that I can change it, and in fact, I probably will down the road. But this is what we got for now.
You know, playing with me, I love a good outfit change. I love a good wardrobe session, so I'm always okay with people wanting to spruce
also
it
want to
up.
say, too, those sleeves, I imagine, they're flowing a bit. Like, especially, like, near the hand. Like, these are very loose, kind of flowing sleeves in general. Definitely has a drape kind of look to it.
Very Gigolo Wizard vibes.
Yes, but with the leather underneath. Hey, you know?
That's, honestly, it seems... Alright, everybody, including myself, is taking a +1. However, we are now referring to this group as the Gigolo Wizards in my headcanon. And you guys could make a great male stripper trio. You guys could absolutely crush it in the Forgotten Realms. You've got
We
a
got
fucking...
something for everybody.
Literally,
do.
you got something for everybody. You guys are, you've got Virgil, gigantic, super muscly, perfect skin and hair all the way down through. You've got Jove, also ridiculously muscly, short and like super wide, like holding it down for all them who like the short kings. And then you've got your middleman, Older, who's going almost full twink mode at this one. Like, you guys are crushing it at the bachelorette parties. Absolutely crushing the bachelorette parties.
If I had the negative in strength, it would absolutely be twink mode here, but
Compared to your companions, you are absolutely the twink of the group.
yeah, well, that's not fair, but yeah. They are beefed. They are beefed fucking up.
Some might say that's the allure of it. The
Yeah.
contrast between the three of you guys just makes it even more enticing. But enough male stripper talk.
Is this how we're going to pay for the town now, guys? Is this the
That's how we actually get out of Barovia. for Strahd.
strip for Strahd? Stop. Oh god.
My dice agree with you.
I can say with 100% confidence that I have gotten 5+1 since the last time we had XP doled out, because I was at exactly the level up, and so now I'm 5 XP above it, so I now have gotten exactly 5+1s.
So, returning back, we now return back to our adventuring group on the steps leading up to the Terrace back into the Fedatov family manor. And I believe, if I remember exactly where we left off, you guys were deciding what your next steps were concerning both Luca, where you're going to rest for the night, and where to head off to next. I'll toss it back to you, players.
My money is on taking a rest inside the manor and taking care of Luca.
Yeah, I think that's probably for the best. I'd rather go somewhere where we're kind of fortified, basically, than risk ourselves out in the woods when we don't need to.
Because it seems like out here the roads are just as dangerous as any location.
And at least here we could, again, make some kind of enclosure.
And there's enough
Yeah.
dead bodies around here to dissuade anybody from pushing in and seeing what the deal is.
Well, the manor
Also, we've-
itself still looks creepy, so
We've
Yeah.
also already pre-barricaded the front door, so that's great.
that is true. And I think it is worth going and looking upstairs. I know that's where the rooms were originally going to be held, so at the very least we can drag some mattresses out of there if we all want to, group up in the library down with Luca or whoever. But yeah, I think I agree. Let's rest here and then go back in the morning and report to the burgomaster.
So you all head back into the Fedatov manor. You head over towards the armoire where Luca is currently hiding inside and is still shut. Not a sound emanates from it. The house is exactly as you have left it, quiet and still.
Luca, you can come out. Did we give him a safe word?
Yeah,
You did.
We did.
Nuanced.
The armoire opens up and you see Luca kind of spills out of it a little bit, along with a couple of pairs of gloves, seem to tumble out with him like bits of snow. It's up. Hi, friends. I didn't
Hey,
say
I'm glad-
anything.
That's a really good job, and I'm glad to see that you're safe.
Oh, and it goes over and gives you a huge hug. Are you okay?
Oh yeah, we're doing just fine. Nothing happened to us. Just did some exploring and found what we were looking for.
Oh,
We're gonna rest up here for the night before we head out in the morning. I'm assuming you're just as tired as we are.
yeah. Yeah, I'm hungry. And he reaches behind and see him pull out a whole potato still. One from early in the evening, and where are we going next?
Well, I can check out upstairs and see if there's any bedrooms that look comfortable. But if not, maybe we just all find some couches or something down here to make rest for the night.
Okay. And looks over to you, Jove, and offers you some of the potato.
He's gonna hold up his hand and say, oh, "You go ahead and have that, big fella. I'm pretty satiated for the night."
Okay. And he takes the other second half of potato, pops the whole thing in the mouth. Jove, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Investigation is an 8.
An 8. You begin heading up the stairs. You can see that there's a number of rooms off to the sides, kind of correlating with the same floor plan as below. The entire kind of center section of this is open to, the grand ballroom and the grand salon. Think real, like, Cinderella style staircase leading down. However, now old and dusted, layered in some places. And as you go to head towards the room, I'll say with an 8 in investigation, you do not notice how thin and how worn some of these floorboards are. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
That's a nat 20.
Nat 20. You're able to leap back, and you can see parts of the second floor begin to fall, break apart where you once were standing. Now that you've gotten a better look at it, you can tell that most of the second floor seems pretty rotted away. Even your weight, although you are kind of a stout, dense guy, is likely to make the rest of the floor collapse.
Yeah, and he'll kind of intuit that if the floorboards are rotten, there's probably not nice mattresses up here. So he'll go back downstairs and address the group. Or I guess as he's going back downstairs, like looking through the main ball area, are there any like throw pillows, anything soft for us to lay our head on?
Give me a perception check.
That's better. That is a dirty 20.
A dirty 20? Yes, down on the first floor in Lady Marlena's private salon, one of the wardrobes, you find an odd mix of pillows, kind of worn, thin blankets that were once probably exceptionally nice, but now have seen some age. You find, an old couch that has been absolutely torn to pieces in a melee with the perpetrator not far behind it. So you can pick through and find as a veritable hoard of throw pillows and the likes. Everybody definitely can get one if they'd like.
With that kind of bundled up, he'll return back to the library, which I believe is where we were all holed up, and kind of throw them on the pillows on the ground and say, well, I don't think we're going to be sleeping in quite the luxury that I was hoping for, but upstairs is all rotted away, so we'll make do with this. Not that we're, unused to sleeping on the hard ground, but hey, if there's pillows, might as well take use of them.
Well, better than nothing. Beggars can't be choosers in this situation either, so.
Well, we should barricade these doors, and I'm willing to take the first watch, and yeah, I can get ourselves through this night and make sure nothing spooky happens. Or spooky.
I'll go ahead and take second watch then. And, yeah, if, I mean, I'll try and help, but if you boys want to move the barricades, that sounds, for the best, so. Thank you, gentlemen. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
Joe would do that, and then, yeah.
Well, then I will say it is easy enough for you guys to move the barricades to kind of hole up in the library. You know, it does have that kind of like reading nook that is very much like a bed already built out. You find plenty, you know, there's still chairs in here and the like, so you're able to make it more comfortable than just sleeping out on the ground with just kind of a sleep pack on you. And it's not like you guys don't have your regular adventuring gear, so after taking some time and setting it all up, it's pretty comfortable, you know. Not as comfortable as being at the Hare and the Hare with its, you know, real beds and the likes, but more comfortable than roughing it outside. Jove, you're taking first watch, correct?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
That's a catchphrase. Ooh, to a 22.
22. Before I describe the events coming forward, Virgil and Alder, was there anything you guys wanted to kind of accomplish or do before tucking in, or is it straight to bed for you guys? I know it's been a long day.
I think it's straight to bed for Alder. He's in a rough spot.
Bed.
Bed in bed. You got it. Joe, 22. You do kind of your rounds, peeking outside some of the windows, looking into kind of the ballroom. It's dark. The moon's light hasn't penetrated into the house in quite some time. It's that very late hour of the evening. You can almost feel the shadows sitting on your shoulders, perched, almost like a Celios, but cold. You look out into the darkness, and for just a moment, you feel like you see something staring back. You blink, and at that same moment, a piece on the chandelier falls, creating a loud It startles you for the moment, and you hear the flapping of raven wings from the large ballroom above as a singular raven flies out into the night. But barring that, it's a quiet evening. You feel your nerves flayed, and then your kind of halfling sense of humor kicks in. When was the last time a singular bird got you to jump so much? But luckily, you are the only person to see that, as Virgil, Alder, and Luca continue to sleep soundly. And your watch comes to a close. Alder, I believe you had second watch.
I do indeed.
Jove, you go and wake Alder for the second watch. Settle down, and are you going to do any journaling tonight, Jove, or is it just straight to bed?
He would journal a little bit for sure about just the wildness of the day before really knocking off to bed.
Heard. Easy enough. Alder, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Oh, I think I do still have disadvantage on that, so let's roll that again. For perception, that is a 12.
12. You search out into the darkness. Keep your eye out for any more shufflings of the undead once through the evening. But it is not the sounds of the undead that pull your attention, Alder. It is the shelves of books surrounding you here. And I'll say with the 12, your wizardly interests get the best of you. You spend a good chunk of your watch not looking out for potential dangers, but going through the vast amounts of odd Barovian literature here. That strange kind of dialect infused into their words. Well, you don't find any books of magic or the likes. Fascinating histories, taxes paid to Strahd, ranging for many. You find that it is Lord Strahd von Zarovich, the 10th currently in reign. But there have been many before him, a honorific passed down through time. It's the bookworm in you. Can't help but be fed in this library of odd, some may say useless knowledge, but all knowledge has a place in your mind.
Damn, there really are a lot of Strahd guys, huh?
But the last bits of the late evening, you can see the early bits of morn and the time to switch over to now, I believe, Virgil for the third watch. Virgil, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Nice. With advantage, my highest roll was a 4. Or no, a 7. It was a 7, so we're going to go ahead and take my passive of 14.
Passive of 14. It's a increasingly cold, bleary looking day. You could see the muffled bits of sunlight beginning to streak out against a gray sky. The house has been exceptionally quiet. Not a stir. Although you do hear the sound of fabric being tossed. Your ears pick up on it once, and a few moments later, a second one. You stand and you look towards the origin of the sound. And you see the armoire that Luca was hiding in. And go ahead and give me an insight check, Virgil. 16. You remember that there were a number of gloves that came out of the armoire with Luca. You were to guess that probably about a half dozen or so. Various styles. Could easily belong to the noble guests at the house, or maybe some of the help. But you look back over and you see that it is doubled. There's probably about a dozen or so mismatched gloves, all piled near this armoire once again. You look around and there's no one around No sounds or movements. And as you pull your eyes away, you catch just at the edge of your vision one of these gloves flips over, as if somebody were inspecting it. And as you snap your eyes back to it, let's say with your insight and your passive perception, something has collected these gloves from across the manor. You think back that for the last few days, something gets closer and closer. An obsession of sorts with these gloves. And you feel a little creeping chill around the back of your neck as you think back on. You said 16 for the insight?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. You and your companions have noticed these strange going on with gloves ever since you had that strange vision from Jenny Greenteeth.
I remember that.
I'll leave you with that information as the sun agonizingly climbs its slow way back up over the mountains.
I'm gonna take one of the gloves and just like throw it across the room and just keep an eye on it.
It doesn't happen at first. But about 10 or so minutes later, the glove does get pulled back with the rest.
And how is it moving? Is it flopping? Is it floating? Or is it dragging? Or
It gets pulled up into the air for a moment. And then it is almost like someone tossed it. The same kind of like spinning, as if it gets picked up,
Okay.
you see it's flipped over once, and then it flies back to the other gloves, as if somebody threw it back at you. And there it rests. The sun finally gets into a kind of full morning mode. And Alder and Jove, your faces are awash with the gray morning light of the day. Your dreams are, compared to what they usually are dark, murky. Alder, you find yourself back in your sarcophagus with your patron. Jove, it's simply the forest, through and through. And Virgil, that same kind of darkened cocoon that you find yourself in, that womb of your own blood. And at some point in every dream, you feel this heavy pressure on one of your hands, as if something with remarkably large size is lifting you by the wrist, inspecting you. And as soon as it is pulled to the very stretching point of your arm in your dream, that is when you wake up. And as you all are either awoken or wake up due to your own natural cycles, you can't help but to flex your left arm. There are no marks. But you get that same sensation you get when your hand falls asleep. That bits of pins and needles, but not from the inside, where your muscles and tendons and veins and bones lurk, but on the outside. like a bruise almost. But as you wake up or continue your watch, that sensation kind of fades. And as you all begin preparing for the day ahead, you look about the manor and it is still decrepit, dilapidated. The bits of blood now starting to coagulate, going from bright splotches of red to muddled, almost mauve colors. But the manor is still quiet and empty, sans for the four of you, Luca included.
Hey, Alder, do you want to take a look at this pile of gloves?
Oh boy, not this again. Yeah, I'll take a look at it, but I feel like this is what I was dealing with before. And yeah, Alder will investigate it.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll me investigation or arcana. Choice is yours, depending on what you want to base your information on.
Okay. Let's go with Arcana, because there's clearly something magical going on here.
Yeah.
In his opinion. So that is a not natural 20.
A dirty 20. You got
Yes.
it. Alder, you probe it with your wizardly instincts. You open yourself up to any guidance your patron might provide. You pick up the glove. Virgil, say you point out that specific glove that you threw and was thrown back to you. The one that you've seen animated. And Alder, I'll say with a dirty 20, you can confirm without a shadow of a doubt, this is just a glove. It has no magical properties. It doesn't have strange incantations or sigils on it. You flip the glove inside out. You give it a thorough wizardly inspection. Reach into your components, pour a little bit on it, see if you get any reaction. And, well, it is a finely made leather glove with wool on the inside to give you some extra warmth in the fingertips. It is just that, a well-made glove.
Well, good news and bad news. Good news is, I can tell you the obvious. It's just a glove. Nothing special about it. No magic or traces of it on here. That said, it doesn't explain why it's here in the way that it is. And again, it's giving me flashbacks to what I found in my door too. Feels like something or someone's giving us a message, but again, I can't pick up any magical nature on it.
Well, even on my way here, I had, my glove kind of almost like stopped me in my tracks, like something was pulling me. So I don't know if it's helpful or harmful. And in retrospect, maybe it was trying to indicate that there was some sort of danger. That's a generous read of it, but whatever it is, seems to be following us, and unless it's pulling the strings behind whatever happened here yesterday, it hasn't made a hostile move so far, which I suppose is the good thing.
I suppose so too. Again, get the feeling of poltergeist, but so far it doesn't seem to be aggressive like you said. But clearly leaving evidence. Whatever it is. Or whoever it is, I guess.
Mine didn't seem as much of a message. More that they wanted to keep things a certain way. I'm gonna take the glove and throw it across the room again. And I'm gonna while I'm waiting for it to act, I'm gonna close all the doors in the room.
You close all the doors of the room. You throw the glove. You wait. A couple minutes go by. Jove, older, you see the glove does get seemingly lifted for the moment. It moves towards one of those closed doors, and you see the glove hit the door frame and then fall to the ground. A few minutes goes by and nothing.
Well, that's different than it was doing. It was trying to relocate itself to the pile earlier. Do we want to do some glove Hansel and Gretel and see if it's trying to breadcrumb us to something?
Trying to communicate something to us, and whatever it is, if it's feeling chatty, maybe we should listen.
Yeah, I'll open the door and kind of move the glove a couple inches through the door frame.
You wait. Wait turns into 5 minutes. 10 minutes. 20 minutes. 30 minutes. You look all towards the door, listen for any other sounds, and the glove remains, pointing towards you all, not with a singular finger, just with the fingers outstretched towards you. Everybody go ahead and roll me insight.
Gonna be a 2 from Jove.
2.
Sorry. I rolled my dice all the way across the room. Hold on, sorry. A little bit too much juice there on it.
Too much on that hot dog. Virgil, how much?
7.
7.
I apologize. What was the roll for?
Insight.
Specifically? Insight, gotcha. That is a 14 then.
14. A 2 and a 7. It's a real head scratcher. You're not sure if this thing is showing you something or is warning you. Maybe the fingers pointed back at you mean something, like you've done in the past. The more you think on it, the more confusing this prospect gets. Alder, for a 14. This is odd. Doesn't seem inherently malevolent, but it does have purpose. Whatever this thing is, it does have something to do with these gloves. That should be obvious, but thinking on the last events recently, we'll see with the 14 insights. Whatever this thing is, you're thinking that it does not appreciate being watched like this. You're not sure why you feel that way. If anything, there's this... You find it difficult to describe. There's purpose here, but it's not clear. And you get this just worm in the very back of your mind, Alder. It's like a afterthought, like a flavor, like a notes of bitter in a fruity drink, something you weren't expecting, but the sense of familiarity. There's something about this, just something that puts a bit of a fire in you. It's almost distracting. And you're trying to piece out what this could possibly mean. What is it trying to show you? But there's just something ineffable, something familiar. This presence isn't random. But you're afraid that you might start wasting your time if you think on this some more. I'll say with a 14, that's what that gets you.
Gotcha. Yeah, fellas. I mean, there's clearly intention here, but I got the feeling that whatever's doing this is, lack of better terms, maybe a little shy about us watching. I don't think it necessarily likes the attention. So far, it's not harmful. Just keep an eye out for the signs, but I don't know, just a feeling, but I feel like we shouldn't focus on it in a way.
Well, then I guess we head out.
I guess you're coming too, new friend, if you want to follow along. Alright. Make sure we got everything, and then let's take off.
And speaking of taking off, why don't we, I had a better segue for this one, then got stuck halfway through. Let's do some experience for the evening, as you guys are preparing. So, in our last module, you guys fought 1 were-rat, 8 ghasts, 2 skeletal bulls, 2 creeping coins, a set of strawed armor, a mirror and reflection golem, a banshee, as well as destroyed the banshee. Let's see if I'm missing anything else. Just double check in. Received, I believe one person got the pearl-studded mask. You got Marilina's hairnet. Chose to leave behind the Fedatov treasure. Gathered the glamour-studded leather and a scroll of mass cure wounds. Thus, the grand total of all experience combined is 8,850. Then split between the 3 of you, taking into account your individual experience that doesn't have to be split. Everyone go ahead and add 2,950 experience points to their pool.
Nice. Joe, where does that put you at?
That puts me at 15,335.
Wait. Sorry. Make that, since that comes individually and split between the 3 of you guys, make that 3,200 flat.
Oh. Okay.
That's why I had that extra plus there. Thanks, Pastom.
So then, where exactly are you at now, Joe? I'm asking just for full clarity knowledge. Since I took the Warlock, I jumped a little bit ahead to get that level, and then I was not taking experience until you caught up to me at level 16 at 1400. So I'm just gonna put myself where you are, basically. Experience-wise. Yeah.
Let's see here. So Dom, you said that was 3,200 then?
3,200.
Gotcha. So that gets me to 15,555.
I believe that does get you to level 6.
Hell yeah. Oh, level 6 is a big one for me.
Which again?
I get a 4th rage, which is huge.
Yeah.
I
More
get,
crit. More time.
right?
Yep.
My claws, while I'm in my transformation, are now magical damage.
Ooh.
And then once per long rest, when I would go down to 0 hit points, I go to 1 instead.
That is a big one. You're just
Yeah.
a beefier version of yourself all around.
Yeah. And then I'll go ahead and roll for my HP here.
Rolling that D12.
Let's see here. We likey, we likey. Gonna be for a extra 12 HP.
Ooh, what's that bring your total to?
It's gonna bring me to 72.
It's a big old bag of hit points.
Yeah. Some USDA prime beef right there.
See way.
I am now faced with the reality that you two could eat me.
Quite literally.
Just eat me. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh.
I have to stop myself from eating you.
Yep.
It's part of my character.
I'm sitting here at 58.
Well, yeah, getting to roll a d12 plus 4 for
Yeah.
level ups is pretty nice.
And Virgil, what's your XP at?
17,205.
17,205. That feels about right. Let's pull up.
It's like 6 in the third.
Let's see.
And remind me, DM, on long rests,
Yes.
how many hit dice do we get back? Is it half of them?
You get half of them back. Yes. And Alder, since you are multi-classed, you can choose what day you want to get back your Warlock hit dice. I'll assume that you want to do the 1 Warlock and the 2 Wizard hit dice immediately. Also-
Yes, that would make the most sense. Yeah.
Important rules.
Oh yeah, you're right. New day.
Those are important.
Mm-hmm.
Very important rules.
So we got a nat 20.
Let's
Hell
go.
yes.
Oh
bro.
my lord. Can we get the crit fail too? Can we get the dynamic duo? A 14. So we got two very we got the roll and we got a very high roll.
Having the nat 20 on standby.
On standby. This is like now almost like too much to have at hand, because now I'm gonna be guessing at all times like, shit, is
Right.
this when I should use it? When should I use it?
It's a lot of power to have.
You should have had Kyle roll for the 1.
I know. Finally, your critling, halfling crit fail could have.
He is a critling.
Yeah.
The critling, yes, yeah.
I have never seen in this like if Kyle was not a halfling, you would have died by your own hand like thrice over at this point in the game.
Oh, yeah. I mean, in this session alone, he's hit both a crit,
Yeah.
nat 20 and nat 1.
Like, it's insane. Nobody has the just magnetism for the two ends of that spectrum the way you do. And I mean, you are still the only person I've ever seen roll 2 nat 20s with disadvantage.
It's a gift, what can I say?
But this is also what makes you like a perfect halfling character. Like, you are the luckiest person, you know?
Exactly.
It's
Yeah,
insane.
It works.
It's
it works.
it's a quantifiable fact that I have seen displayed many, many a times. That's why when we go to the craps table, Kyle, you're the only one touching the dice. Well, I believe with that, important rolls. Jove hitting level 6, so we've got level 7 Battlemaster Fighter. We've got level 6 Werewolf Path of the Beast with a little bit of homebrew to really lean into the werewolf parts for Jove, 6 Barb. And then our Warzard, 1 level of Warlock and 5 levels of Wizard for Alder. Do I got that correct?
Yes, 1 Warlock, 5 Wizard. And I was already level 6, so I do not gain anything.
Yep, you got the leapfrog. Now you in Jove's XP should be balanced. If we've got that, we will go ahead and continue our adventure. And I can finally put away one of these modules. You all gather your belongings, eat some rations, consume what lifeblood you need to continue the day. Rouse Luca from his sleep. If you would imagine, he's a really heavy sleeper, based off your own Double DM's ability to sleep anywhere for any amount of time, as deep as I'd like. We share that, Luca and I. So you finally rouse the large young man from his slumber. Eats another raw potato. Of course, generously offering up to the rest of the party, making sure you guys are fed as well. Before you all head back onto the road. You can see the still, now abandoned, broken bones of the skeletal bowls. Still just outside the Grand Salon. Some of the fallen stable hands. And while so much of this is carnage and insanity brought on by this change, it is still a beautiful estate. Even with the house as aged as it is, and filled with nothing but death and unrest, you also got to see it in its prime. A beautiful place of sustenance and wealth, of dancing and delight. A place that made Barovia seem just a shade less awful, if only for a singular evening. But you head back. Where are you all headed towards? I would assume Orsnu, but...
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the plan, right?
Yeah, especially with someone else here in tow with us, I think we're heading straight back. Yeah.
You begin heading back down the roads. Alder, between you and Jove, you both remember the path just fine. It is a better maintained than most paths you typically find out here in Barovia. Even with the sudden aging, you can see the well-worn cart tracks, the flattened earth that many have walked down over the past. The day is gloomy, cold. As you leave the estates, the snow returns once more. Out across the distance, in the kind of gloomy gray day, you can see the shadow of Castle Ravenloft, ever present, looming over this area of Barovia. Always within sight, but always out of reach. Go ahead and everybody roll me a perception check as you begin making your way through the Svalich Woods, although known to you as the Quivering Forest.
16.
16.
Yeah, passive 13.
That's 13, 16. Virgil?
What was the roll?
Perception.
13. So pass a 14.
That's 14. Alder, were you my 16?
I was indeed.
Alder, as you are traveling with your companions heading back towards Nodu, return Luca back to his home. Figure out what your next moves are. You notice that there's a set of incredibly large footprints off the path, probably about 25, 30 feet away or so. You'd just have to say that whoever made these tracks must be large, bordering on huge. You can stick both of your feet in one of these tracks. You seem to head deeper away from your path into the Savage Woods. And you see next to them a set. Go ahead and roll me nature. Or survival. Choice is yours.
Nature or survival? I think nature I am okay at. That's for an 11?
An 11? You're not sure how many made these tracks, but you do see that, looking slightly older, a number of regular-sized humanoid tracks leading off the path, heading into the same direction as those large footprints. You're not sure which came first, the smaller ones or the larger ones, but they both seem to be moving deeper into the woods.
He'll, noticing that, he'll grab Jove and point out the two pairs of tracks. Looks like they've fallen the same place and heading off the road. Don't know if you want to take a look at it, but, you know, they seem fresh at least.
Can Jove kind of bend down and get a closer look at these tracks?
Yeah, for you, Jove, give me investigation or survival.
I'm gonna do survival. Nice, that's a 22.
22. Jove, being the nature boy that you are, cue the David Bowie. Thank you. You can see that it looks about, you're guessing 3, maybe 4 humanoid-sized creatures or people. They do seem like shoes, so you're assuming must be people. 3 or 4 of them have the older set of tracks that lead deeper into this part of the Svalich/Quivering Forest, into kind of a more northern direction than you've headed before in the past. Out of the ways of like when you were tracking the Ettercaps or heading out northwesternly towards the Bogorovs and the Moslaveriks. And far enough away from town that you wouldn't run into the, like when you were chasing Laszlo and the likes. A equally unfamiliar part. And with your experience with tracking and being out in the woods, your summer strider instincts, if you will, you could tell that the large, heavy footprints definitely following. That track is much fresher. And I'll say, you said 22, Jove?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll give it to you. You've traveled enough and studied enough nature and literature and the likes to know that those are troll footprints. large, hulking brutes with astonishing powers of regeneration. Sentient, cruel, and typically an evil sort of creature.
Well, from the looks of it, these big tracks, Alder, they look like troll footprints, to be honest. Moving towards some group of older tracks, folks going off the beaten path here. It's usually not a good sign. I mean, trolls aren't known to really be kind to other folks beyond their own, and even then they can get a little chirpy with each other. So,
Is this where you tell me to be a good person and go after the trolls?
well, I mean, there is something to be said about doing the right thing, but I mean, we are pretty dang close to Orsnu. And if there's a troll like this coming close to a road and picking people off and doing that, I think it's only a matter of time before they end up in Orsnu. And it's always more of a clusterfuck when we have to fight in the town and whatnot. You know, we've got our buddy Luca here, but whoever these poor folks are that this troll might be hunting, be bad news for them.
Yeah, you're probably right. We'll have to deal with it at some point anyway. If we go after him, Luca, listen up real quick, okay?
Huh?
Alright. You stay very close to us, okay? And then if we tell you nuance, you get as far away as you can and wait for us, alright? Gonna be some dangerous things nearby.
Now, when he says as far away as possible, he means to a safe area.
Yeah. Go hide if you can. If there's anything like a tree or bush, somewhere you can hide, try and hide there. But just get away if we say nuance. Otherwise, you stay close. You understand?
Yeah, with a natural 17 on that roll. So nuance means safe in a
Hide.
way. Okay, okay, okay.
Yep. Otherwise, you stay by us. Okay. Okay.
And you feel very strongly that Luca gets what you're saying to him. Was a little confused with the nuance part since you used it to hide in a same place that one, but he's figured it out. He's picking up what you're putting down.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Alrighty. Let's take a look at what we got here then. Jove, you go ahead and take the lead.
Jove, go ahead and give me...
Oh, by the way, I should also, since I didn't earlier, I should make sure I say, Eternal. And gain my armor, please. Yes.
Heard.
Poof.
Just
Does
like
it
the
that.
new
gain
mage
your
armor.
armor, or does it just change the look?
It
of the
changes the look. The look, I now have like the full, like, robe appearance, essentially. Yeah.
When it's in its natural form, it is much more of just like a finely crafted set of leather armor. However, it is no ways around it. It is particularly meant for women. It is very immodestly cut. Like, you get the bottom part of Alder's cheeks on there. Like, it leaves very little to the imagination. Like, it's really open on like some of the shoulders and like the upper arms, and like has almost like a corset style around the midsection, and is really studded and armored up there. Like, there's room. Like, if Alder, was a busty lady, he could wear this fine still. Now it's just kind of open space in the front. It draws the attention for all the wrong reasons when its command word is not used.
Gotcha.
But Jove, roll me survival or investigation to follow these tracks.
That's 21 survival.
21 survival. Yeah, Jove. You're former ranger abilities kick in strong. You follow these tracks using your heightened senses. You can start smelling, and you've been feeling extra feral as the moon has gone higher and higher into the sky, as we are on day 25 since you have been afflicted with your curse, Jove. You feel there's never a point where you can completely put the beast down. It is always there. You're just now learning how to run with it side by side. As long as you keep moving, you can keep up with your bestial instincts. And hunting down this quarry through the woods is focusing for you in this moment. And you can smell... Yes, I'll say with that roll, 5 unique smells. One is this acrid, almost acidic, musky swamp smell. Almost kind of reminds you the smell of the flooded forest down over by Mole Master. The smell of troll. Strong, heavy, unmistakable, almost covering the other smells, making it easy to track. But underneath it, you smell the familiar smells of Orsnu. A bit of grime, a bit of mud, soot. But softer smells underneath. Almost the light, potpourri smell of a woman's perfume. Smell of a hint of wine underneath it all. A bit of that gold raven smell. And then unfamiliar. Like sage and blood mixed together. Almost what you would call maybe rosemary underneath it all? Oh, there's the familiar smell of Orsnu. There's something hiding underneath it all. It fills you with a sense that you've smelt this before, but as soon as you start thinking on it, it feels familiar, but you can't put your finger on it, where you've smelt it. It does remind you of a home back in the Moonsea, something very Barovian, yet not. It is hidden underneath all these other smells, an extra passenger that with your heightened sense of smell sticks out like a sore thumb in this cacophony of stenches. But you are able to continue forward. 15 minutes turns into 30. The clouds darken. You can hear the slight rumble. A storm is coming. The gray morning turns into a darkened, shadowed high noon. The sun blotted behind darkened clouds. And bits of flashes and streaks of lightning scatter across the sky. Alder, as you look up, you can see the lightning is not a bright white, but a dark, almost amber color, hidden behind these clouds. You feel a cold sense of comfort as the sky is cradled by this amber lightning around you. Jove and Virgil, with your heightened senses, as this 30 minutes turns into 45 and the better part of an hour goes on, you both smell it first. Blood. Not brand spanking new, freshly spilled blood. But blood nonetheless. The forest twists and like intertwined fingers begins to cover into a canopy blocking out the sky. The trees are thinner here, but more numerous. You almost have to weave your bodies side to side to pass through them in places, and that smell of blood gets stronger and stronger. There's a flash of that almost amber lightning that lights up this part of the forest. You see a tall statue of a cloaked and hooded man. Thick stone serpents emerge from its sleeves and wrap around its arms and body, and a hood shrouds the figure's face in darkness. A moment later, a second flash of lightning reveals a dark, bloody handprints on the front of the statue's robes. At the base of the statue, and at the bottom of the smeared stain, lies the body of a young man, dressed in homespun, clearly Orr's new make. Plain, but well-kept clothing. He's face down in a pool of black mud, his hand still resting on one of the statue's feet. The other hand holds that of a young woman, the front of her flowered blouse stained black with blood. Her vacant eyes stare upward, unblinking, as drops of rain begin to fall onto a pale skin of her face. And no rolls are needed. If the smells did not confirm it to you, Jove, their faces would. The three of you know this couple, as does Luca. For it is Benedict and Sari, the young lovers of Orsnu, headed to be married, laid low by the statue. And as the realization of seeing these kind people, this young couple who was more than happy to share their happiest day with three strangers who have done nothing but good for their own town. A tree branch snaps nearby. That acrid swamp smell permeates through this clearing. And in a low, growling voice, "We're enemies." There's a third crash of lightning. Reveals the figures you have been tracking. Trolls with heavily scarred faces. A strange marks burnt into the center of their chests. And the speaking troll's mouth breaks into a malevolent grin, revealing a set of golden teeth. Alder, roll me insight.
For insight, that's a 19.
19. You look at those burn marks in the center of their chest. They're not burns from fire. Those are acid burns. And in a symbol you have not seen since your time with the Lost and Found. A clawed dragon mark. In the shape, in a symbol of Therastrogruel, also known to you as Velvet. I need everybody to roll initiative. Oh dear, okay. Oh, let me roll for Luca as well. That's right, I have to go to the old lore to bring up his stats.
The old law.
The old lore. Where do they have you? Nope, too far, too far, too far, too far. Not far enough. Yes, there you are. You do have your own stat block, my sweet, sweet Luca. With your own unique weapon, too. I love you, Luca.
Is it potato?
No, the one it has here is actually a fence post.
Oh,
I was hoping it was gonna be like a giant flaming sword, and it turns out he's actually like a combat genius.
You know what? His stats, some of them will not surprise you, but some of them, actually none of his stats would surprise you. He's a gigantic, hulking, beefing boy. He does have the highest strength in the party.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably like
is.
a dex of 14.
Actually, his dex is really low. He's really strong. He's not very coordinated. And his constitution is equal to everyone else's. It's his mental stats that take most of the hits.
Yeah.
Minus his charisma. He's got a solid charisma. But, as...
12?
he's got 12 in charisma.
Yeah.
It's his intelligence and wisdom scores that suffer. But luckily,
8.
a 7 and a 9 for intelligence and wisdom. Yeah, so luckily he rolled a 17 on understanding what you guys were trying to tell him. So even with the -1, that's 16. He figured it out. But we go back to this. Alright, so 15, 21, 2. And Luca rolled a flat 6 on his. So let's go. Oh. Yeah, you win, Luca. Okie dokie. To describe the scene, there is not a map for this one. I'll say probably about 30 feet away from you all, this is a kind of open clearing that is kind of surrounded, as many of them are, by a plethora of different trees. At the center is this large snake-human statue with Benedict and Sari's now deceased bodies lying at the base of it. I'd say probably perpendicular to you guys, if you guys are at the 6 o'clock coming in from the 3 o'clock, are these two trolls. They are large. They seem to have semblances of clothing and adornments. These acid burned marks in the shape of a dragon's claw at the center of their chests, seemingly done in ritual rather than scars from battle that crisscross across their arms, their faces. One has large golden teeth. Although they are not a singular set, it seems like he's taken golden teeth from many places and popped them right up in there. The area is starting to rain. The mud is beginning to churn, but it isn't difficult terrain quite yet. And we'll start at the top of this initiative with Virgil.
I'm going to go in and try and smang him.
Absolutely.
He's going in. Oh, I just realized what we forgot to do today. We'll do it after this. Sorry, Virgil.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Okay.
How many trolls are there?
2.
Okay, yeah, we're fine. Smack him with the yuck. Yeah. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. No. Are they holding weapons?
They are not.
Interesting. In this campaign?
I know. Just using their natural claws right now.
Is it dirty 20?
Dirty 20. Yep, that'll hit. Are you going for the one with or without gold teeth? And I'll refer to them as gold teeth from now on.
Whoever was talking.
Gold teeth.
Yeah. Okay. Dirty 20 on him, and I'm going to use my die for a maneuvering strike.
A maneuvering strike. All right. All right.
So it's 12 magical piercing, or not magical, silver piercing.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to say nuanced as I use my maneuvering strike on Luca.
Ah. Yes, Luca will. I believe I need to use my reaction to move half of Luca's movement speed.
He may use his reaction to move up to half his movement speed, and he does not take opportunity attacks from specifically gold teeth.
Perfect. Luca, what is your movement speed? Yep, your basic 30 feet. So he will move 15 feet in the opposite direction of the trolls, heading into the trees. You hear a okay, and he begins moving with speed to hide and follow your directions. So Luca, that's your reaction. Gotcha.
And then I'm gonna try it again. So on gold teeth.
And so it was 12 on gold teeth. You got it.
Don't know how good a 10 is gonna do.
A 10 is not gonna do.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Yeah, you go for the second strike on this one, and Gold Teeth is prepared and catches your war pick at kind of the haft to stop you from getting a full swing. And as described, this is a full-sized adult troll. So he does have a good, probably foot or two of height on you, Virgil.
I'm gonna use my action surge and try again.
All right, let's see him do it again. One more again.
18.
18, that will absolutely hit as you wrench the war pick from the troll's grasp.
I'll use Spirit every die. I get them back on short rest. Why not? And I will do. I guess I'll do another maneuvering strike.
Maneuvering strike, you got it.
Do 13 silver piercing.
13 silver piercings, you got it.
And I say, "Come on, Joe."
And yeah, Joe will use his reaction and move the 15 feet forward.
You got it. Joe moves 15 feet forward.
I'm done. My last attack. 14.
14 does not do.
Okay, we're narrowing in on what that AC is. And then with my bonus action, I will use another superiority die and give a good old rally to myself, because for some reason rally is worded as on your turn you can use your bonus action to expend one superior die. Grant a friendly creature who can see or hear you, and I'm one of those things.
You are indeed a friendly creature that can see or hear you.
I will roll a d8 plus 2, giving me 7 temp HP. And that is my turn.
Her 7 temp HP. Okie dokie. Then that brings us on down to Jove.
Excellent. Jove will use a bonus action to go into a rage, into the quarter wolf form. He will use his movement to get up next to Virgil, and he will use his action to do 2 swings on Goldtooth. The first one he's going to do regular, so not reckless. Just to
Gotcha.
test the dice here. That's a catchphrase. Turns that into a 15.
A 15. Meets.
Hell yeah. Alright, and then we're looking at 12 magical slashing
12 magical slashing. You got it on gold teeth.
on Goldie. And then take the second attack of that action. Ooh, yay. That is going to be for a 24.
24 will do.
And we're looking at minimum of 7 magical slashing.
7 magical slashing.
And then we'll make sure he's like hip to hip with Virgil. And we're forming up the line here. And so Jove will stand and wait for what comes next.
Oh, perfect. Because it would happen to be Gold Teeth, who you watch and, almost like Muscular from My Hero, you can see the muscles, the sinew, the veins expand, refill the marks where you have torn apart this troll, and it begins to regenerate. Healing for a certain amount that I'm not going to tell you. And then, boy, Virgil and Joe both took some chunks out of him. He doesn't like either of that, so to be fair, each one of you is taking a claw. So this one for Virgil. That is going to be... Ooh, I'm finally getting some monsters that can hit. 24.
Yeah.
And then for Jove, natural 20.
Ooh-wee.
When he attacks Jove, I'm going to use my reaction to do Sentinel.
Sentinel. All right. I roll disadvantage?
No.
No.
I get to roll an attack.
Ah, yes.
It misses.
Okie dokie. For you, so it's going to be... Is it terrible bad? I've hit harder. For Virgil, that is going to be 10 points of slashing damage. For Jove, oh, you get kind of lucky. Let's see, it's going to be 12. You take 19 points of slashing damage. And are you raging right now?
I am raging.
Then you take 10 points of slashing damage. And then... Oh, you're both good, but Jove, you got the natural 20, so it's feeling frosty on you as one claw scrapes against Virgil, catching you in the upper arm. Jove, a second one goes low. Its arms are so long that it can catch you from the ground going up. You almost get uppercutted by this claw. And as it lifts you up towards itself, the troll is going to try to bite down on you. That is for a 17.
That'll do it.
Absolutely. Halved, you take 4 points of piercing damage as it bites into your shoulder and rips a part of your flesh from you, Jove, dropping you back to the ground. The gold teeth chewing it and swallowing it before letting out another growl. And as you can see, already the muscle and skin is moving. It pulsates in, almost seems to bubble forth as if it pops, and as each one of these bubbles pops, you can already see the wound starting to stitch back together. Which then brings us down to Luca, who is going to use the rest of his movement, and then he's going to take the hide action once he feels safe. A natural 20 from Luca.
Feels really
Hiding so good.
He is so clutch right now.
I'm rolling great so far. Go you. It was about time. Dice. And then that drops us down to the other troll, who is going to focus in on Virgil and Jove. So he's going to come around the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Since the wizard hasn't moved yet, these guys are already attacking, and Luca is hiding with the grace of Strahd himself. One for Jove, one for Virgil. Claw attacks coming in. Both these are good. Both are 24.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, Jove, you gave me minimum, I give you minimum. That's 3 points of slashing damage.
Ready?
And then we go in the opposite direction for you, Virgil. That is going to be 16 points of slashing damage. And then this one's going to try to take a bite out of Virgil, since one is already snacking on. Joe, a 13 will not do. I already know the answer to that. And then that brings us down to Alder. As you see, Luca makes a beeline for the trees and begins to hide within them. Your party members engage in a brutal melee as they tear chunks out of these trolls. The trolls return with equal fervor and begin to slash and bite down onto your companions.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are we in... Before I set everything on fire, how much of an opening are we? Or, like, are we very much, like, in foliage, like in dense trees and all right now?
I would say that, like, right behind... Like, you guys are on the edge of where this kind of clearing opens. If you were looking to cast a fireball with your knowledge, you can either be effective with your damage and hit both of them, or be safe with your damage and hit one of them. But to get both of them is likely going to light a good chunk of the forest on fire. It is starting to rain, however.
Yeah.
So it's not like this is all just, just dry wood, but I'd say it's going to be risky, Alder.
My other question then would be, obviously, that makes sense. If I were to try and maneuver to get the Scorcher for 30 feet, is that also going to set this place on fire? Or could I angle it to get 2 and not set the whole forest on fire here? Or is it just kind of what it is what it is?
You got 30 feet of movement, and they came out just enough to get Jove and Virgil, and they're doing a double-decker sandwich for both of them. Yeah, I'd say the Agnazar Scorcher you could pull off. You could catch both of them. You'll have to swing it wide, of course, but yeah, I think you could pull it off.
Sweet. I will go ahead and go for that. I will also bonus action Form of Dread as he takes on that amber skeleton glow with his patron now kind of hovering over him, as we described before. And yeah, I will need dex saves from those two.
You got it. As you take this form of dread, that same kind of amber silhouetting you have in your regular form happens once again, except it doesn't show the nice curves and muscles that you have. It is just your bones. Think very much Blight from Batman Beyond, but in amber light.
Indeed. And I will cast, yes.
Well, if you imagine, they're not terrible at dex saving throws, but one of those is a 10, the other one is a crit fail.
They both will fail, and I need the main one, the gold boy, to also make me a wisdom saving throw on top of that.
That is a 6.
A 6? He fails, so he is currently frightened of me as well.
So, frightened.
And then we'll roll damage. Alright, so that is going to be 15 fire damage total for the both of them. And I also need to roll. I also get temp HP for my form of dread. So I get... I currently have 3 temp HP on me as well, Dom. Just FYI.
3 temp HP. You got it. Yeah, you send your Scorcher of amber-tinged fire, and it absolutely cuts through both of them. You can see that bubbling immediately stops, is charred. The regeneration seems to be impeded by your flames. And the gold tooth looks over to you, and the gold teeth hang low as their jaw drops, as their pulse quickens, and from this gout of fire, in almost like a Ghost Rider visage, flame surrounding your form. Amber skeleton in full view. Fear strikes deep into its heart. Anything else from you, Alder?
That is all he can do.
All right, Virgil, back to the top with you. As Gold Teeth was focusing on you and your companion, but has now turned, and you can see the muscles beginning to flex to run from Alder.
He's trying to run from Alden?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he is feared.
He is feared.
Oh, right. Okay. Then I will attack regular teeth.
Attack and regular teeth. You got it.
Had to sneeze. Swing. It's a natural 20? Is that how you guys say it?
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Nat 20 to open it up. All right.
Natural.
Natural, but of course.
D&D wants to apply. D&D Beyond wants to apply the normal crit rules to the next roll that I do. Which luckily we don't use those because it did 2 really shitty D8 rolls. I got a 3 on those 2. That's why we do our crit system.
Audience, for those of you who do not know, our crit system in this campaign is that when you roll a natural 20, the rules as written is you're supposed to double the dice that you would roll and take the average. But that can also mean that you can roll, minimum all your dice and do less damage than a regular roll with your nat 20, which feels awful. So we maximize 1 regular sets of your roll. So if it's a d6, you get the full 6, and then you roll that dice on top of it. So if you roll minimum on that, you're still getting your full maxima on there. That's how we do ours. It means that's why Jove can hit me so fucking hard with consistently hitting 36 or higher on his nat 20s, but it also means that I get to hit the players very hard when I roll a nat 20.
And DM, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that would apply to my superiority dice rolls as well, since it gets added to the damage of the attack, and it is a dice roll.
I believe so. Let me just see if there's any sage advice on this one. It makes sense to me, and I'm the DM, so
I would say it's similar to like how a smite would work, right?
I think you are correct. Let me just
Because
see.
smites you also wait until after the hit is made to choose whether or not you smite.
Yep.
and you might as well-
Same as it's the same as if you were doing a sneak attack or a divine smite.
Cool.
And those get doubled up. So yes, absolutely. You took Took the class feats. That's a part of it. Go ahead and edit.
Perfect. We will do a maneuvering strike and start rolling. Is 28 silvered piercing.
28 silver piercing. And this is on regular teeth?
This is on regular teeth.
Regular teeth. Regular teeth. Ding, ding.
And I will just shout over to Alder, be like, "Get where you need to be, boy." As I just dig into this guy's like skull.
Yes, and you can see the damage from the fire impeding that regeneration, so your strike is more than true. As you, almost like Gustavo from Breaking Bad, you just cleave parts of their face off. They're a real two-faced looking motherfucker now.
I almost forgot to do my 5 healing from vampire. That was just my first attack, so let's do another one.
Let's do it all over again.
That's a 22.
Yeah, that'll hit as well. Excuse me.
Okay, that is only 6 silver piercing as I am out of superiority dice.
6 silver still. He started off this round with not a lot of damage, and now he has a lot of damage.
Yeah. What is their size class?
They count as large.
Okay. So I believe no more than one size larger than me. So I can push him should I choose. But I don't think that that's necessary right now. So what I'm gonna do instead is bonus action, second wind.
Gotcha, gotcha.
And get 13. Wait, what did I say? Plus 3 plus 6. Plus 6. Oh, 16 off back. So I healed 21 this round. And I'm back at max.
Heard. Well, then
My turn.
I'll take it on down to Jove.
All right, so Gold Teeth is running away, right? In fright.
He definitely is going to attempt to. It is very obvious. He is turning his back to Older and scanning towards the woods for a clear path away.
And you've fought with Virgil at this point long enough to know that the reason Virgil doesn't want to hit him there is just in case it would break his fear, because this gives me a free opportunity for a sentinel attack. And stopping his retreat.
Right. I think I'm gonna roll on whether or not Jove is more beast brain or Jove brain, because when he sees prey turn his back, he's
More than fair. More than fair.
Fair, yeah.
all right. So he rolled really high, so I'm gonna say that Jove has the wherewithal to see a plan coming together.
You've been doing a good job running side by side with your beast today, so you're able to. You can put those two pieces together.
So yeah, hearing the vicious attacks that Virgil laid into the regular toothed troll, Jove will follow up as well. So he'll use his action for the 2 attacks. First one's gonna be regular. Ooh, that is gonna be a miss for 8.
Yep, that will miss.
Second is going to be a 15.
15, that'll hit.
That is going to be for 12 magical slashing.
12 magic, and this is on regular teeth. Gotcha.
Regular tooths. And then he'll do the bonus action follow-up attack, claw. That will be a 21.
21, that'll hit.
This just gets the rage damage, so that's going to be 8 magical slashing.
Magical slashing. Heard.
And then, yeah, he likes to be shoulder to shoulder with Virgil here, so he's gonna continue to do that.
Yep, it is now Gold Teeth's turn. He is going to attempt to run from Alder back towards the forest. Go ahead, Virgil.
Alright. 19.
That'll hit.
Alright, his movement becomes 0. And he takes 7 silver piercing.
7 silver piercing, you got it. Wow. Stuck in a difficult spot. All that fear and rage at being stuck where he's at you impede his movement. Is going to turn those attacks on to you, Virgil. So he's going to make 3 attacks. 2 claws and a bite. I'm just going to roll all the d20s. I got it. I've got enough of these. Okay, that is an 18, a 24, and a 21.
Yes.
Okay, you got it. So that is claw. First claw that hits, that's gonna be 9 plus 4. That is 13, and the bite is gonna be 6 for 19 altogether. As Gold Teeth rips into you, Virgil, trying to almost put you in the way of Alder, as you are able to stop him by catching him in the leg with your war pick on his way to run, turning that fear into strikes against you. And while the body is that of a large, gigantic troll, the hits are erratic, fearful. While they do cause you some damage, they are not the measured heavy hits that opened up this combat. They are frantic. Which then takes us down to our boy Luca. Luca gonna keep hiding as he was instructed. Oh yeah, buddy. That's not a natural 20, but it is a natural 18. Luca is feeling very safe and hidden over in the trees away from you all. So it brings us down to Regular Teeth. Regular Teeth is gonna give you 3 attacks this time, Jove. 2 claws. That is a 9 and an 18.
It's 1 hit.
And then the bite's unnatural 20.
That also hits.
The first claw, rounded down, that is 8 slashing. And then the bite, alright, max halved, is going to be 5 piercing. Then takes us over to Alder. And I will say that both of these trolls, that kind of bubbling, muscular reattaching of their limbs, their muscles, their sinews, that regenerative ability seems to have... The wounds seem to almost been cauterized on the outside. They don't seem to be healing like they did that first round after Alder's fire attack. So they're both starting to look rather rough, surprised, and one is in abject fear of Alder.
Alrighty. And the one that is in fear, I did not catch. Did he actually get sentineled or no?
He did.
He did, so he's in place.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're in the same exact place you left them.
Great. They're literally in the same exact place, aren't they? They did not move.
Nope.
They're gonna have to catch another Scorcher at that point, and he will also first off we will bonus action Hex and put that on Gold Teeth. We'll put Strength disadvantage on the Strength ability checks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not saves. And yeah, they'll have to make 2 dex saves, please.
But it is a 6 and a 17.
17 does pass. 6 fails.
All right, that's a failure from gold teeth. A succeed from regular teeth.
Okay. Roll damage. Pretty low roll though. Let's see. That is going to be. Damn, I rolled very, very low. Yeah, so that's 8 fire damage, 1 necrotic, so 4 fire damage for regular teeth. Then 9 total for gold teeth.
Gotcha. Oh, bless me. As you once again light these trolls up with another all their scorcher. Anything else from you, Alder?
No, he'll take his he'll use his movement to move away from them now. He'll focus more on sniping from here. But yes, otherwise that is it.
You back up towards the statue, and as you're looking down at these bodies, trying, of course, to not step on Benedict or Sorry, even though you're backing up from them, go ahead and give me an insight check as you look at their forms.
Will do. For insight, it's a pretty low roll again. That's a 7.
A 7. Yeah, the combat is more important. You're able to avoid stepping on Sorry in her kind of floral pre-wedding dress, but the fight is currently what's more important. We go back to the top with Virgil.
So how are they looking?
Not great. They're showing heavy burn marks. The wounds that you guys have inflicted are not healing. Ooh, you know what? You know what I didn't do? I didn't roll Gold Teeth at the end of his turn to save against fear, I believe. Let me see. Because I get that at the end of my turns, correct, Ryan?
Yes, I believe you do roll at the end of each of your turns. So
Doesn't matter, that's a 2.
he's still scared of me.
Yes, the constant fire damage and not being able to move from this one is a terrifying prospect for somebody who is used to being the hunter. So yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for regular teeth.
Regular teeth, regular teeth, boom, boom. Regular teeth, regular teeth, boom, boom.
It's a 19.
That'll hit.
For 7 silver piercing.
Gotcha.
And then a 15 to hit.
Well, meets beats.
There it is. Found it. And 6 silver piercing.
How do you want to do this?
Virgil's gonna like glance over his shoulder at the gold teeth and see him still being a little pussy. So he turns back to regular teeth and he just kind of gives him a 1-2 slap with the war pick and just like digging it into his sides and just pulls it out, whips around, hits him on the other side, and just like tearing him apart. Almost like instead of pulling the pick directly out of the wound, pulls like towards himself after digging it into his side, just like goring him. And then just leaves him there to bleed out.
Yeah, and you can see the skin around the wounds almost quivers, attempts to vibrate and cover, but the fire damage prevents it. And you see this regular teeth's body jerks for a few moments before going still.
Yeah, and then I will hold my ground.
Heard. Jove.
Right, smelling blood in the air, he'll turn to gold teeth here, and he'll do this set of attacks recklessly.
Heard.
Action. That is going to be a 15.
It meets beats.
What looking at 11 magical slashing for the first.
Gotcha.
We are looking at a 22 for the second one. Second to hit.
Yeah, that'll definitely hit.
That is going to be for 10 magical slashing.
10 magical slashing. How do you want to do this?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he'll turn around and he can just smell the fear on him. And does he still kind of have his back, or has he turned around at this point?
I'll say you have his back.
Okay, yeah. Then he is going to, as he just attacks recklessly, he'll jump up and latch onto the back of this thing, and like he's like almost going to give the troll a massage on his shoulders, except a very insidious one, as the claws just dig deep, and he is just tearing out that meat and going deeper and deeper into the collarbone, and then eventually kind of like almost like strangling him from the inside and just cutting out all of the good bits out of his top half before just kind of like riding him down as he perishes.
He's hacking and whacking and slashing. And as you lay Gold Teeth low, back to you. You're out of initiative. And as the combat comes to a close, let's go ahead and take a quick bio break. Bayou break, huh? And we'll be back in about 5 minutes, everybody. Welcome back, everyone. We return back to our party, successfully defeating these trolls. Alder, the mark on their chest, giving you memories of good times and bad times, depending on how you want to think about the situation, about going into the lair of a black dragon, and the many fights and frights you had along the way.
It's nostalgic, but also Alder almost melted to death during that fight, so you know.
Yeah, it was not a great time.
It's not a great time. Yeah.
Luca, successfully having hidden, begins to approach now that the fighting seems to be over. And Jove, as your bestial rage subsides, your eyes are drawn back to the two young lovers. Motionless, still. Benedict's hand still stretched out towards the statue. Zari, face up towards the sky as the rain begins to fall upon her pale face. And the smells, Jove. Dead troll. Blood. Fresh, but not so fresh. You're thinking probably a day or so. A third smell, similar to Benedict's. Familial, almost. And that same out of place. Is it rosemary? This kind of seemingly just a bit of acridness, just a bit of rosemary. It almost reminds you. Give me an insight check.
Insight, that's a 2.
It's off, but you're not sure from where. It's so different from all the other ones, but you just can't quite piece it together.
Jove, go and look at the bodies more, because they're at like the feet of this statue out here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alder would also like to check this statue while he's doing that as well.
Yeah. Let's have Jove. You give me an investigation check. Alder, give me Arcana or Religion on the statue.
Can do. I'm rolling Garbo.
I got 16 for the investigation.
16 for the investigation.
We'll go religion. That's a 9 religion.
9 religion.
Yeah, not rolling hot.
Yeah, on that one, clearly this has some sort of religious meaning to it, but not any that you're familiar with. Or at least your religious background doesn't ping anything. Perhaps magical, but you're not sure with the religion. Jove, with your 16, as you investigate the wounds on Benedict and Sari, they are precise. Instead of being torn open or ripped apart, like the claws and the teeth of the trolls you fought, they are precise. In fact, looking at it, it suggests that both of them were attacked from behind. And whoever did this likely bore 2 weapons. They both have a precise, thin slit in their backs that pierced directly to their hearts, with Sari likely turning over as she fell holding Benedict's hand, and him reaching towards this strange statue. Whoever
Can
did
I
this
ask-
simply were not trolls. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, can I ask like what the statue is depicting?
Mm-hmm. It is, to be exact, it is a large statue that has a tall, cloaked and hooded man with thick stone serpents emerging from its sleeves that wrap around the arms and body. A hood shrouds the figure's face, and you can see the bloody mark where Benedict has reached up and touched, and his blood has run down the statue. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check if you'd like.
Sure. And you said serpents are like coming out of like this figure in
Yes,
the statue? Okay.
Indeed.
Dude, that's another 9 Arcana. Jeez.
It definitely, something is radiating magic on this statue, but you're not entirely sure what or why yet. But the statue does possess some form of radiating magic.
It's definitely magical in nature, but I can't discern exactly what type of magic this is.
And whoever murdered our lovers here, I don't think it was the trolls. This looks like blade work and precise, straight to the back. Almost looks like it's going directly into the heart. More assassination style than what I know that trolls can do to the human body here. So
Them
something
being
larger
left
at work.
them being left here almost feels sacrificial too. Not really familiar with this figure, but maybe someone in town has heard something about it. Who
I'm
knows?
sure whatever dark entities linger in this place probably take joy in, well, snatching away love before it can truly blossom. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was some sort of sacrifice either.
Virgil, would you roll me a perception check as your companions investigate the bodies, the statue, as Luca sticks close to you when you just, as you typically do, are standing. I'm not going to make the same joke, but watching over the clearing.
Hey, 19.
19. Looking over the clearing, you definitely can see where the trolls did not enter into this space. They clearly came around and were stalking the outsides. You do see 4 sets of human-sized tracks leading into the clearing that you've been following, but only 2 sets of the human tracks lead as they head off in almost an eastern, like heading, almost looping around like a parabola towards the southeast. And you can tell, out of all these footprints, having spent time in the well-to-do areas of the world, 1 set belongs to someone, likely a man, wearing an expensive pair of boots, judging from the heel. They took extra care to step in the less muddy patches. It's, from your experience, reeks of somebody who's used to finery. Someone who is not Or's new maid. Even the burgomaster doesn't take as much care to avoid the muddied spots of Or's new, the way this individual does. You can see their tracks almost follow any kind of stones that are plucked there. Solid stand and avoid the mud like the rest of the tracks.
Well, if there's not much else to find here, we'll have to ask around, but should probably grab a keepsake from the bodies. Nah, I can't imagine it's the best idea to bring them back, but something to at least identify them.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. We're gonna be bearing a lot of bad news coming back into town.
Yeah, nah, no kidding. I don't know. Should I cremate them too? I know death does weird things around here, but
think that might be best. That way, well, we've seen what happens to corpses that are left unattended out here.
Yeah.
It'd be a shame for them to return.
Yeah. Consider it a mercy, I suppose. Well, let's find something brooch or pendant, and then I'll do the dirty work. And then yeah, if there's anything, any jewelry or something that could be identified on them, DM, that's what we would search for there.
Yeah, you head over to
Even just their wedding rings, if they have them, would probably work. Yeah.
yeah, I'll say you head over towards the bodies, looking for something, a memento, a keepsake, an identifying object, and it's as you do, a voice from behind the statue calls out. Is it safe? And the faint image of a young woman in a flowered blouse, delicate lace gloves peek around a nearby gnarled tree behind the statue. Her eyes heavy with worry and her face streaked with the traces of silvery tears. Bright red blood stains the front of her flowered blouse and continues to flow, pooling on the ground at her feet. As she takes a few steps, you can see, almost with a vibrant red light, bloody footprints follow in her wake. And the ghost of Sorry manifests as she peeks around the statue just out of sight of her own body. She looks confused, frantic, worried, as her form is stuck in a perpetual state of the moment of her demise.
Sorry, is that you?
Yes. Do you know where Benedict is? I can't seem to find him anywhere. We came out here to begin the rituals to be betrothed, but I do not see him here. Have you seen him?
Yes, he's dead.
What? No.
Dead.
Benedict's not dead. No, we were supposed to be married. You were all coming. The whole of the village was coming. Gregory's done the stores, and I just got my dress together to go with my gloves. I don't understand.
Something terrible has happened, and we're trying to understand ourselves. Think back. Do you remember anything that happened when you came out here? Anything strange? You said you were here fulfilling the initial portions of your wedding ritual.
Yes.
Did anybody come with you?
Yes. It's Benedict and I, and his brother, Reginald. Someone else. Someone who wore nice clothing.
Do you remember exactly who they were, or where they were from?
A visitor. Reginald and him said they knew of a place to make sure our love would last forever. To bring us out here before the festivities began, to have our moment before we shared it with everyone else. We followed, and we came to this strange statue, and there was a pain in my heart. And then everything faded into darkness. And now I cannot find Benedict or Reginald or whoever that was. And she seems genuinely confused when bringing up this visitor, this fourth individual, as if the memories are fading even as she tries to remember it. And as she continues to try to think on it, her head turns as if she hears something. And she looks past the four of you all gathered. There's something else here. Something powerful. It's angry. It's sad. I feel it's like its heart is broken. And you see her kind of absently rub her thumb on top of her gloved hands. These kind of beautiful, really stunning pair of gloves that seem delicate and well made. Go ahead, everyone, give me an insight check. 18.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Natural 1 for a 0.
0. St. Virgil, you're still kind of stuck on the fact that she doesn't realize she's dead yet. It'd be probably best for her if she came to that realization sooner rather than later. It's just really not helpful for anybody. My natural 20 and my 18. You look to Zari's corpse and then back to her ghost. They look spot on, minus one part of which her corpse isn't wearing her gloves. And every time you've seen Zari, the entirety that you've known her over these last couple weeks, she's always had her gloves on. And my natural 20, you think on this visitor. You make the connection between these gloves.
Oh.
And as you think on this visitor and these gloves and this force that keeps pulling gloves away from you, it all clicks together. Something is connected here. You're not sure, but you know the themes are too similar here. And as you think on this visitor, the face eludes you, but they have always been at the corners of your time here. In the Seven Tables Inn, conversing with members of Orsnu. Their face always tucked away, this sweet, manicured smell that follows them. And Alder, how could you have missed it? They did wear a fine cloak. One that you thought almost as like a mauve or a deep red, but you had this moment of clarity as all these pieces clicked together for you. And that robe was purple. A wearer of a purple robe. These trolls with acid burns on them. This warning from Jenny, these gloves that seem to be drawn towards you. Zari's own ghostly form possessing them. This visitor garbed in purple cloths. a bleeding between the quivering forest and here. Strange, radiating statues of something entwined with death like a serpent. Your memories of a fight deep within the ruins inside the Glumpen Swamp. Sorry, that's not the name of that. You know which swamp I'm talking about.
Yes.
The Twilight Marsh.
Twilight Marsh. There you go.
You don't know what the answer is yet. But this bleeding over is too salient for you to ignore any longer. And as you think of this stranger garbed in purple, their face and their voice and their mannerisms slip from your mind. Like trying to grasp water in your open hand. You could hold it in a cup for just a second, but as soon as you squeeze, the memories and the water slips away. I'll say that's what you get with a nat 20 in insight.
Oh man.
All happy.
Sorry. I'll try and think real quick. The person you were with, they were in a purple cloak. Okay? Do you remember anything they said that identified them? Anything? Anything they said to you before you went out?
They were charming. The words were like a soothing balm or a song. When I think of them, it's like it slips away. I remember agreeing to follow them, to be with Benedict. And they said, and you see that you can almost watch her thoughts as she's trying to grasp anything from this to remember. I remember they were heading deeper away from here. It's that pain in my heart. The key is in the Glumpen Swamp. How do I know that? Where is Benedict? And you see that kind of wave as if forgetting the events comes all back to her, and she almost repeats the same opening of, is it safe? As if she got to the end of that thought process and it rebooted her back to the beginning. She looks confused again. The blood pours from the wound that pierces from her back out towards the front. A single stab wound through the heart. Even though she is only a mere few feet away from her own body and Benedict's, it's like she can't or maybe chooses not to see the reality of the situation. Frozen. This sad bride will never get to be with her betrothed. And a set pair of footprints, one heavy, one fine, snaking away in the same direction that Sorry manifested. Her own bloody footprints throwing off that vibrant red light.
So are the other set of footprints then, do they continue on or do they stop here, basically?
Virgil would know with his excellent roll earlier that they do continue on. Deeper into the forest towards a novel area for you all. Away from where the Vistani or the Ettercaps or Lady Fedatov's domain.
Well, my urge is to keep pushing on with it, but I worry with us having Luca. Do you think it'd be easy to track our way back here, guys, or not really?
It's about to rain, so I highly doubt that these tracks would be here if we were to go and come back.
It's almost coming together though, Jove. Okay, the gloves, check right there, they're missing. It's the same sign, it's the same symbol we've been getting, and I recognize this acid. Things are still pouring over. Plus, we are on the precipice of what is going on here with everything bleeding back and forth.
Well, the closer we get to the source, the closer we can get to bleeding on back to home.
That's what I think too. I hate to push further with someone else in tow, but
Well, I think Luca has proven himself to be pretty good at keeping himself out of trouble, given direction, and he knows our word. And I think that I trust him in our care better than the town at this point. We all saw what they were making of him when we left.
you might have a point there. Luca, if we say nuance, what do you do?
Hide. Safe.
Good, good. I say we keep pushing then, gentlemen.
Well, first we gotta lay these bodies to rest, don't you think, Alder?
Right. Let's grab the keepsake, and then, hopefully we give them as much peace as they can.
You go ahead. So give me an investigation check.
There isn't a good roll. Yeah, that's a 26.
26. Yeah, you're able to find Sari and Benedict's wedding rings, mementos of them. And as you're going around, say with the 26 investigation, you do notice that on golden teeths, there are runes carved into the golden teeth. Alder. You also find that these sets they are a set. They are paired with blood red rubies as well. One for Sari, one for Benedict.
We'll take the rubies, and then he will definitely check the runes here. Do they look like they're magical, or does it look like it is like a language?
Give me Arcana.
Of course. For Arcana, that is a 17.
17 will do. As you kind of go over, having gotten the rings set with their blood red rubies from Benedict and Sari's bodies, you notice that little sigil on the teeth, and these are definitely runes that are used in advanced necromantic rituals and spells. while the trolls themselves are not undead, wherever they got these from have clearly been carved for a greater purpose. And as you look through these as well, your hand brushes against the tink of a glass bottle. You also find that Gold Teeth carries a potion of greater healing on them.
Oh. Hey, fellas. I think this might be good in one of yours hands. Seeing as you guys take the most of the damage. And he'll hold out the potion of greater healing. You guys could play rock, paper, scissors if you want on who wants it, but I think one of you should take it.
I'm a little hardier than old Virgil here, so why don't you hold on to it, buddy?
As he's reaching for it, he'll be like, "No, you take it." As he grabs it from Alder's hand.
Oh, please, I insist.
Potion of greater healing is 44 plus 4.
Nice.
But having investigated the trolls and the two young lovers, their rings placed in a small box, hinge box that you found on Benedict, the set tucked away safely into your pockets. The tracks leading away from this area visible, yet to be washed away by the incoming rain. How do you do this, Alder?
I mean, we're trying to be more respectful here, so it's kind of like the light. Again, he'll start with like the produce flame from himself, so it's kind of coming from him internally. And it kind of pools around his hands, and he almost kind of like gently like pats it down onto them, as it kind of falls, almost like a feather, as the flames kind of slowly descend onto them, encompassing them and kind of growing over them. And it's less of like a intense burn as it is almost like, again, harnessing it into that kind of like that amber light, as he's kind of just it's almost like kind of evaporating them, but like consuming them in the light, kind of gradually with that as he sends them away.
You see their forms turn to ash, wiped away by the rain. Sorry goes to you, Alder, and puts a hand on your chest, and it feels a little more than the touch of a clammy hand. The sensation fades. And you see Zari still looking out for Benedict, or maybe the force that has followed you all. You're not sure yet. And you see her begin following the footsteps, the paths, the tracks that leave this area. Same bright red, bloody footsteps following in their wake. She seems to fade into the forest, leaving only behind a set of red footprints in her wake. Now only leaves the felled bodies of the trolls and that same dark statue, still looking away from the scene. Strange snakes still intertwined with its form. And if I heard correctly, I believe you are all going to continue to follow these tracks to wherever they lead.
That is the plan, yes. We'll follow the ghost here, essentially.
You begin following these bloody footprints. They continue to show that little bits of red lights. As you continue to follow, an hour to 2 hours. If it weren't for these bloody footprints, you might struggle. The sky is dark. The mud becomes thicker, sticking to the bottom of your shoes, almost trying to inhale you. The path becomes mottled. You can hear bits of cawing ravens, buzzing flies. Thunder crashes through the air. What once was a forest becomes more and more swampin'. The smell of mud and rain and rots permeates this area of the forest. Twisted trees jut from this scummy green surface of this bog ahead. As the afternoon begins to head towards evening, the sky darkens and the shadows grow long. Here and there, small atolls of fungi-covered rock and mud break through the surface. As you continue, Jove, this kind of water level is beginning to rise. For you, it probably comes up to your knees, while the rest of your companions, it's about to go over kind of the boot line of yourselves. And as you continue to follow these kind of red steps, almost glow underneath this still water, the smell here becomes noxious. You can hear almost slight whispers. And as you look forward, in the center of a bog sits a once well-built wooden Vardo, half sunken into the swamp. One corner of the Vardo has been pulled deep into the swamp, leaving the rest at a twisted angle. And from within, a voice calls out, "You there! My Vardo's stuck in the bog and I'm trapped inside! Do you mind some help?" And from the very small windows, you see kind of an arm reached out and a sky blue scarf attached around the wrist. Waves at the three of you. Everybody go ahead and roll me insight.
Dirty 20.
My third nat 20 of the night, but this one's also for 19.
Dang.
Jove, you're almost startled more by the sudden outburst of sound as you guys have kind of been quietly traveling this whole time. But I'll say my 19 and my dirty 20. Light blue scarf and a Vordo. This is a Bogorov Vordo. And the same kind of light blue scarf matches the one that you possessed, Alder. Given to you by Annika.
That's the Volgarovs. We gotta go help them out. And yeah, he'll call out and say, we're over here, just hang tight. And yeah, he'll try to make his way over.
reaching the Bardo is going to be no easy feat. You can see that there are thorny vines, water that's you're not sure how deep it goes, and that the Bardo itself seems unlikely to be able to be pulled out from raw strength alone. It's not sinking at like an excessive pace, but you can see ever so slightly, millimeter by millimeter, this bog is beginning to suck in this Bardo. As if during a rest, the back half of it fell down. The door in the back that you know the Bardo's, that you can enter and exit, is clearly stuck at a strange angle. There'd be no way to open the door. The windows are far too small for him to climb out of. So, it is going to take a athletics or a acrobatics check to even get to the Bardo.
Athletics, you say?
Indeed. Athletics or acrobatics. Choice is yours. Whether you want to power through the bog or you want to try to hop from area to area to try to get to the Bardo.
Well, I thought my +6 would do me well, but doesn't help when you're rolling with Mikey's dice. It's a 13.
13.
Actually, you rolled a 14 plus add your modifier.
Hey, that's a 20.
20. Yeah. Well, let me ask. So, Alder, you definitely want to head towards the Bardo. Virgil, you're heading towards the Bardo. I think Luca's probably going to hang back, unless you guys tell him to do something. Jove, are you joining your party members, or are you going to stand back and give them some room?
He's gonna stand back for a second just because he remembers getting one pulled over on him, doing the whole help, our cart is hurt earlier, only a couple of weeks ago. So he's gonna kind of stand and stay watch, and if help is needed and everything is cool, he'll go, but he'll hang back with Luca right now.
Absolutely. You and Luca stay towards the edge of the bog. You can almost see a different color in the water as you hit that area. It becomes much deeper, and you feel it would be more of a swim for you than anybody else, Jove.
Yeah.
But with a 14 and then Alder, since you're heading that way, athletics or acrobatics, choice is yours.
It's gonna be acrobatics.
Heard.
That's an 8.
It's an 8. Roll me a d4.
3.
3. Make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
As you are going through the bog, following behind Virgil. Virgil, with a slight push from Alder, to avoid a misstep into a mass of thorny vines dripping with a bright green liquid, moves you out of the way and you avoid stepping into that thorny patch. However, Alder, as you are trying to move from kind of patch to patch, you jump and land in a strange green and yellow mushroom. And as you do, it expels its spores. What's the Constitution saving throw?
That was a dirty 20 for the con save.
Dirty 20. Well done. You hold your breath and you call in that inner fire to burn through your nostrils to kind of clear out your insides. And with a hack of green and yellow phlegm, you know, that type of bright, sickly green and yellow when you're really sick, where you're like, that's not supposed to be that way. You expel the spores into your hands and with a bit of flame, toss it away into the bog. Not losing 2 of your hit dice for the day.
Wow, good. That's scary. Oh.
Oh yeah, guys. We're in it now. Failures will have dire consequences. But with that, Virgil, you're the first one to reach the Vordo. As you power your way through the bog, picking up your feet and feeling this bog almost trying to actively suck you down. Gross. But with your strength and... That's... Module said it. I'm just reacting. You're able to make it to the Vordo. Alder, you gather yourself up from that kind of patch of green and yellow mushrooms and hop the rest of the way there to get out towards the bog. You both are at the Vordo. Alder, for you, it'd probably be easier to scramble up top of it. Virgil, at this point, it's probably about waist deep for you. With your strength, you're able to maneuver still. And you can see inside, you see the Vistani man. He's probably in his early 20s. In fact, Virgil, go ahead and roll me an insight. 9. It's another Vistani young dude, dime a dozen. He's got the dark hair and kind of the dark eyes. He's got a mustache that will probably look better in a couple more years. Doesn't quite have that kind of fullness that you see to some of the older Vistani men. Not like Elias has, but he's very clearly a young Vistani man. Looks just like most of the other Bogorovs. Got the mustache, the dark hair. Inside you can see bits of like instruments and other performer troops. Buckles, like a small bookshelf, although a lot of it seems to be kind of overturned as this has been sinking in. You can see the lowest window, the one closest to the door, is starting to take in some of that water that spills in. He sees you. I have nothing but the thanks for you to be here. I am very, very stuck. The door does not open. And he looks kind of around. Only really instruments inside here. Sorry. So he kind of sheepishly smiles and waves from inside the Vordo. Aldo and Virgil, how are you going to get this young man out?
How are we going to do that?
I know, that's what I'm looking at all of my spells.
I can try and throw him.
That would be, quite frankly, right now, like, impossible. The windows are too small. He is currently locked inside that Vordo. So you'd have to throw the whole Vordo to get him out. You got to break him out first.
You don't have enlarge reduce?
I do not. Unfortunately.
Ooh, good thinking, though.
That is a smart idea, yeah.
Joe, while they're thinking on this, give me a perception check.
Dimension door.
Perception's gonna be 17.
17. Looking around. Coast looks clear for the time being. As you sniff around, you do smell that little bit of rosemary, that out-of-place sweetness and herby that you haven't smelled since. Really, the only people that have come close to this smell were... It actually kind of reminds you of... Oh, gosh. Freddy's Red Wizard lady. With her components on her. Oh, what is her name? We know who we're talking about. For anybody who was not there for our second campaign. Mikey's character, Freddy, the Rat Prince, Mr. Poopy Pants himself, member of the Brotherhood, the Cloaks, was, by the end of our story, in the process of becoming engaged to a red wizard from Thay, who was one of the lead members of the Thayan embassy in Mole Master. And that has that very necromantic component smell to it. Smells like sandstone, bit of rosemary, and other kind of almost formaldehyde-like fragrances. I would say that is the most similar smell to you, Joe, but you can smell it, and you can even see ever so lightly the kind of red glow of Sari's footsteps leading past here, deeper into the swamp.
Is there any like loose wood or anything like that? Like, it's because we're still in the forest and everything. I know it's more swampy, but
Yeah.
anything buoyant?
Buoyant. There are, of course, like dead branches and trees here that certainly would float. I'll say with your good perception, yeah, if you're looking for, a stick that looks like a really good sword that floats, you could absolutely find it here. And if you can't find one like that, you could always rip part of the trees down to give you what you require.
Yeah, what he'll kind of do as they're doing this is once he kind of feels that there's no immediate ambush type of danger, is he'll look for kind of some driftwood, and then he's gonna kind of lash that all together with some rope to kind of create a buoy of sorts that if anybody starts thrashing about in the water, he can kind of throw it lifeguard style, within the limits of his rope length.
Roll me a survival check to put this together while your party member figure out how to get this young Vistani man out.
It'll be 17.
17? Yeah, Joe. You're able to lash together kind of a dead wood, and where you can't find dead wood, some broken pieces using what you have available to you. And you make kind of like a small buoy that, when you pull it down in the water, it brings back. It probably wouldn't be as effective for somebody like Virgil, who's that big, but a regular-sized human male could probably make use of this.
And something to grab onto if I needed to pull somebody out, besides just the rope.
Exactly. So as Jove puts together this buoy to support from the outside, back to Virgil and Alder.
Boy.
Boy,
try and
boy,
blast the door
boy.
down to get inside.
I mean, whatever you can come up with, because at this point, as the non-magical one, my options are smash.
I mean, we just gotta get this door open at this point, so you got my permission. If you don't smash it, I'm blowing it down.
Alright, not asking for permission. Get somewhere safe, and then I just, jump up and try and slam on the weakest looking part of the Bordeaux I can.
Yeah, and you hear from inside, "What do you mean by blow up?" As you hear him shuffle up to the top of it to get in the corner. Go ahead and make a smash, Virgil.
Alright, and this will be with my Warhammer, because that makes a lot of sense.
It would, I would agree.
It's a 16.
A 16. Yeah, go for it. Go ahead and do so. What's the damage on that?
Two-handed.
Mm-hmm.
8 bludgeoning.
8 bludgeoning. Yeah, you strike kind of a weakened area to the best of your ability, and you see the wood splinter and dent. You've done some damage to it. It's gonna take a few more strikes, but you feel if you could get like a nice 2-foot section of this completely broken open, you might be able to drag him out of there.
Yeah, I'll keep working on it.
Yeah, give it to me again.
10.
10. That'll do.
12 bludgeoning.
Yeah, you smash open another part of this one. You get a nice kind of 2-foot-sized section, it breaks away, and you can see young Mistani man reaches out his hand through kind of the hole to get pulled out of it.
Young man.
Get your head up the ground, I said, young man. Get out of that sinking Bordeaux. Go ahead and give me an athletics check, Virgil.
Jesus Christ. 10.
10. It's about halfway up before his body kind of falls forward. Like you're able to get him all the way out, but go ahead and roll me a d4.
3.
A 3. You pull both of you out, and you stumble into that kind of patch of mushrooms. Go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw.
Jesus Christ. All these rolls are... I have like so many pluses. My last 3 rolls have been +6, +6, +7. They're all like below 12. That's 10.
10. Lose 2 hit dice. As you breathe this in and you feel the spores begin to attack you from the inside, you hack up that green, mucousy fluid that is now tinged with bits of brown and red. The young Vistani man. Oh no, that's behind the computer. He immediately brings that kind of sky blue linen cloth to his face and oh, you're not going to want to do that. That's very bad. And as you pick yourself up and get the rest of that spores out of you, you feel that kind of, not exhaustion, but you feel that kind of achiness, before you get sick.
Mm-hmm.
It settles into some of your joints. You feel, yeah, it's going to take a little bit to rest that one off. But the young man picks himself up and offers you a hand after removing kind of the linen. My very strong friend, I cannot thank you enough. Let Somiog help you up, and offers you a hand.
And I'll take it.
And he gets you all the way up, and he's got the kind of calloused hands of like a lute player. He's not particularly strong. He's not weak by any means, so he helps you get to the field as you both stand on this patch. Can I have Alder and Virgil, and who we now know as Somiog, athletics or acrobatics to hop out of the bog?
Can I? I don't know how. Well, it is a hop, so I probably could. I'm just gonna use a second level slot to Misty Step here.
Yeah, you step through that static amber and end up right next to Jove. Oh, go ahead.
Actually, before doing that, because I'm actually there at the Bordeaux, right?
Yeah, you're on top of it.
Or didn't he say he had instruments in it?
Yeah.
He'll grab just 2 random instruments and then he'll Misty Step. Just like, I hope these are the ones you like, friend. And he'll teleport, and then he'll Misty Step over.
You got it. And you stand there. Virgil, what'd you roll?
20.
20? Yeah, with a leap of great strength, you clear the rest of the bog out of there. Somio rolled a natural 12, and then he's also gonna jump, but he's gonna use acrobatics, which he is proficient in, which gives him a 15. So he hops on over through the rest now that he is freed from his Bordeaux, and that hole that you created begins to take in more water, and you can hear it begin to rush into the Bordeaux, weighing it down. There's a as you see like the Titanic breaking apart, part of the Vordo goes down, the other part breaks as it is filled with more and more water and muck before all that's left is like a singular piece of the hitch. Still sticks out, but completely submerged. Oh, and you brought my instruments. Look at ya! Wait. I know you are. You brought a good one. You're Annika's favored red one.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. This is the same group that Annika and all were with.
Okay.
Yes. I Somyag Bogorov. I'm so very thankful to have seen you all. And you hand over, you grabbed a Vistani tambourine, and you were able to grab a well-worn lute. It's got a little bit of mud on it from the bit splashing in, but it is well cared for, well-loved, and you can see the neck has, some of the wood is definitely been used to the point where you can see where he typically holds his hands inside the lutes. It is well crafted, not the finest instrument you've ever seen, older, as you think back at your time on the Golden Table Inn back in Flan, and the beautiful number you saw Welsie sing there. But it is, well, like a good book that has been read many a times. It is a well-strung instrument, as he gets both of them and does a big Bogorov flourish. He's got kind of a small backpack on, the linen blue scarves, mud around the ankles and the shoes from stepping into this area of the swamp, but he is beside himself with appreciation. Who would have thought to run into you all once again?
Well, we would expect her to be in the area, so I guess call it luck or divine fate, whichever you prefer.
Well, whether it be one or the other, I am very thankful for what you have all done for me. I likely would have drowned inside of my own Vordo, stuck in this swamp, with only the last two ill-tempered men as my company.
As far as I know, though, I thought the Vistani typically were all in groups. Were you out here solo, or is the group still nearby?
We were going to head back around Orsno. After all of you, came in and, got to be with us for a little while, we figured that it might be time to do some trading, and after the tragedies of the weddings, we began to head that way. I kind of fell behind. I met these two travelers and offered to share my fire. I got distracted. I was telling stories, and then I may have sinking in here, and then I let my horses go so that they wouldn't drown, and then they left me. It was a very rude awakening.
Can Jove roll insight on this guy?
Yeah.
Feels a little suspicious. That's a 10.
A 10? Jove, he's a Bogorov. You spent time with them. Are they big, outlandish storytellers? Yes. Is he maybe leaving out some of his own incompetency in this situation? Yes. But is he being malevolent as some of the people in the past? You don't get that impression. He has the instruments he has saved, that Alder saved, and what he's got left on his back. You know that the Vistani would never willingly let their Vordo get destroyed in a bog. That the Vordo is their lifeblood and one of the few worldly things they possess. So it seems unlikely that this is a trap for you.
Or that he's lying about being exiled.
Oh, he's not saying he's exiled. He's saying that he is just fallen behind on that one.
I know. And so Jove is trying to suss out, is like, were you exiled? And you're just trying to...
You're wondering if he's a Mortu.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
the word. Yeah.
From what you can tell, he doesn't seem to have duplicitous nature. From what you've met in the more twos, that they don't get to keep their Vordos. Like when you are exiled, when you are made a more two, depending on regardless of the reason, you take basically what you can carry. But all like a Vistani tribe would never let a more two leave with a Vordo. Like that's you're out of the family. So therefore, why would we give you a Vordo, which belongs to the family?
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'll say even with a 10, you guys spent a good chunk of time with the Vistani and learning their ways and their cultures, and you spent a ton of time hunting with the men of the Bogorov. So, yeah, is he probably kind of dumb? You're thinking yes. Is he a Mortu? Seems unlikely. He doesn't have that kind of sour dog expression on, like the one Mortu you have met. He had a fully loaded up Vordo, and you know that they would never allow that, nor would he willingly want that to be sunk in a bog. You're thinking, he's probably just dumb. However, I'll say with a 10, who are these other people he's talking about, though? If they were family members, he would just say of his family, but two ill-tempered strangers is how he phrased it.
Tell us a little more about these fellas you were talking to before this misfortune befell you.
Yeah. Well, oh, of course, anything for you. About a day or so ago, actually, closer to last night, these two men traveled through past my camp. One was large and dressed in the Orsnu garb. Yeah, they don't like color or any of the nicer things. They are about as ill-tempered as that city. But he had two very nice swords on his belt. The other, immaculately dressed, like a noble, with a frilled frock, purple doublet, gold buttons, a pair of high, fine leather boots that came all the way down up to the knee. I think he was handsome. It's weird. I think on it, I just can't put the face, but he had a very nice voice. I tell you, he would make for a great addition to the troop. I invited them both to come share part of my fires, maybe some stories, maybe earn a little bit of ravens on the side. And they seemed so inclined. But the richly dressed man, he was the one in charge. He barked orders, and well, the larger man, he looked a bit crestfallen, I think might be the word. So they ignored and didn't tell me any fun stories or vice versa. Kept going on. That was kind of rude. There's not much else out here. And so they continued off, heading. And he kind of licks a finger and puts it up in the air. That's away, heading deeper into the Glumpin Swamp. I don't know why anyone would want to go there. I would hate that we were anywhere even close, but, spur of the moment change back to Orsnu. It's always like we were being called or something, but who am I to argue with the elders about where we're supposed to be and where the roads take us?
Well then. Sorry about the Bordeaux. Don't think we can really save that part. How do you think you're gonna get back?
Oh, well, now that I am not going to drown inside of my own Bordeaux, I figured my way out through there. The forest and the mists are... Well, you got me the most important part, and he picks up kind of the lutes and strums a little bit for it and plays kind of a masterful, fun, waltzy notes. Almost the beginning of the Prostinata, but a little less intense. With this in hand, I don't got to worry about, as long as that big old monsters thing in the swamp doesn't come back out, we'll be just fine.
The what now?
Oh, no, this
You
is...
said
It,
the big old monster thing in the swamp.
I did
Yep, I
indeed.
knew there was something missing from this one.
Well, it sounds so silly when I say it out loud, but rumors of a being of great power in the swamp, a monstrous creature, not alive, but neither dead. Yeah, there are many foul things in the swamp. Not the first time. I'm not particularly worried about it, but whoosh, I'm not heading anywhere near that big old swamp. What brings you all about? I thought you were heading on to your next adventure or going back to Orsnu. I quite frankly didn't think I'd ever lay eyes on you again. You're so unique.
Well, we were headed to Orsnu, but things got complicated. Found some tracks going off the path. Thought we'd take a look and see where everything was. Someone got lost, and we came across you. Again, call luck or divine fate.
Thankful for either. Well, it is, looks up. Not going to get any brighter for the evening, but perhaps we could all camp together. I could show my appreciation with some songs and, I wouldn't want you to think that I am not eternally thankful. And he pulls out, it is a small carrying case inlaid with what appears to be gold, silver, and platinum. And it is a set of beautiful playing cards made of lacquered wood with that same kind of inlaid gold, silver, and platinum all put together. Kind of think of like a dual box for Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like a matching set.
Trying
Yeah,
to duel?
there are...
You want to play around a Balatro right now? No.
You did spend with your time with the Vistani. They do love their games, especially the Bogorovs.
Yeah.
So he is more than willing to help set up and play some games with these cards, show his appreciation, tell some stories. Play if you're tired of cards, just be as pleasant as possible in thanks. He's got, a couple rations and the likes there, but he not so subtly, you save me so there, maybe save me from an empty stomach too. As he looks over to you, Joe, but I know this one. You know what you're doing after this one. You know what they're doing when they be in the kitchen, huh?
I again don't know what he just said.
He's asking if we want to play games for a bit.
I don't know if we can camp down for the night, but perhaps we can take a little rest here. I suppose it wouldn't be the worst, but we are on another adventure of sorts, as you might call it. So I don't know if we're gonna have time to sit around and play games for too long.
I agree. We could take a quick break after all that. Let you get your bearings back, but we've got important business back in Orsnu, and we shouldn't wait too much longer to get back there in general.
Puts his hands up. You know better than me. Then perhaps a quick game, a short rest of sorts, and you all continue on your path. I am going to find a place to settle up for the night. No point in trying to make my way alone through the swamp,
That's a good way to phrase it. Short rest. I like that.
It's like a rest, but not too long.
Yeah, it's not like a long rest. You're just
Yeah,
taking a short one.
Yeah, a short rest.
And we'll we'll play some games while we're taking this short rest, and we'll call that game Hit Dice.
So yes, with that, as you take a short rest, Somyong treats you to a couple of light games, leaving you, of course, with the cards afterwards, regardless of winning or losing, as his own thanks with what little he still has on him, with the direction and the slight red glow of Sari's bloody footprints leading deeper into the Glumpen Swamp. I think this is a wonderful place to call it for the evening. So, as we take our short rest and begin to head deeper into the Glumpen Swamps to find Reginald and this stranger, this visitor, to unravel the mysteries of this powerful force obsessed with the gloves, to find some sort of recompense or ending for Sari. And what further mysteries are held deep within the swamps of Barovia? Let us say goodnight to chat.
Good night, John.
Night night, chat.
Good night, chat.
Good night, chat. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. Sorry that we had a bit of a delay between the last couple sessions. And we appreciate that you were here for us, and that you continue to join us on this wonderful adventure through the dark parts of Barovia. So, we will see you next Sunday at our typical time. I will likely be very hungover. Your DM is turning 30 on Wednesday, and we are going to have a wonderful time out and about in downtown Phoenix, where we reside. I'm very excited for it, but if I know me, I know that I'm going to need some painkillers and an energy drink the next day. So, until that very hungover, it'll be early afternoon for me, regular afternoon for everyone else. Much love and peace in the Middle East. Until then.